What's going on, guys? It's Picsoleated, and today we are looking at these sparkly joints right here. That's right, you guessed it, or probably just saw the title. It's the new Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 in the clay colorway. For the uninitiated, this is the latest entrant into the collaborative efforts of Adidas and Kanye, and we've sure seen a lot of those already this year. Adidas and Kanye seem to be dropping a lot of heat this year, and it just so happens that everyone is really thoroughly enjoying it. These sneakers released on Saturday, March 30th, and were a regionally limited release, releasing in North America only. I know you'll see a lot of places incorrectly stating that they were a US only release, but trust me, they released in Canada too. Don't worry, they didn't just forget about us. This was on beat with the releases of the Yeezy True Form and Hyperspace, which were also released by region, one only released in Europe and the other in Asia. Now all three of these sneakers share a similar tone. They all run with the new translucent stripe design and have similar tonal arrangements, with the upper somewhat matching the gradient of the midsole and the stripe being colored in contrast to the rest of the shoe, the clay being the loudest of the three. But the real question we have to ask is, was this really necessary? With all the Yeezys we've got already this year, are Adidas and Kanye about to make the same mistake they made last year by releasing too many Yeezys? I use the term mistake really loosely here, by the way, because of course the more Yeezys the better, the more people can have them, but there's no denying it has an impact on brand image. We'll explore this later on, but first let's get up close and personal with the materials. If you're familiar with previous Yeezys, these don't venture too far out of that territory, so we'll go over this pretty quickly. The upper is mostly all prime knit, mixed in with sort of the new two-tone look we were introduced to with the Yeezy Statics and Static Reflectives, which, by the way, if you're familiar with those, these have the same chaotic asymmetrical lines running across the upper in every direction. The two tones here are the peachy clay and white. The stripe itself is translucent with a shade of that clay tone running through it, and of course, just like the Statics, it's see-through from the center, while the back and front of it are obstructed by inner materials. My favorite part of this stripe is that it's also stretchy, just like the prime knit, so I'm still wondering if this is prime knit or some sort of combination of materials. I think that's still up in the air. No shade intended, I swear. Not that there is any. Boost is the superior cushioning tech. Anyways, we have a bright orange looking pull tab on the heel. We've got clay insoles, clay laces, clay 3M reflective stripes on the inside of the heel, and then we have this vibrant translucent clay midsole that seems to have a gradient style going through it. Easily my favorite part of the sneaker. As for comfort, if you've worn a Yeezy, which I'm sure most of you have by now, and if you haven't, don't worry, I'm sure eventually you will get to. These things seem to be getting around everywhere at this point. It's pretty much the same excellent comfort. A light shoe with a breathable prime knit upper and a generous amount of boost. The only thing really lacking here is heel support, but other than that, these are great everyday shoes, except for during snowstorms. As for sizing, I have and always will go true to size in the Yeezy 350 V2 unless they really modify the shoe and something big changes, and that goes for these as well. I'm a wide foot and true to size still fits me great, but I've heard varying opinions on sizing, so if you can't try them on first, I'd suggest getting them in whatever your Yeezy size is. Now on to the real meat and potatoes of the situation. We were talking earlier about brand image and the way Adidas and Kanye go about these releases. It has an impact on brand image, and when looking to keep that brand image secure and demand high, are they doing what really needs to be done, or are they not looking long term enough and just trying to cash in on the Yeezy brand in the short term, most likely risking that image in the long term? If you asked anyone last year where the Yeezy brand was at, you would no doubt get a lot of frowny faces and people claiming that Yeezy sneakers were on their deathbed and people were really getting sick of them. The stock was too high, outpacing demand at some points. The hype beasts didn't want to wear them, the resellers didn't want to sell them, and in the current sneaker climate, it's pretty difficult to beat those odds. But with the start of 2019, you could say the Yeezy brand started off strong, with releases like the Yeezy 700 Inertia, the Yeezy 700 V2 Geode, which did sell out eventually, and even though it wasn't difficult to get a little below retail, the shoe itself and the design has had many positive reactions, and now with these regional Yeezy 350 V2 releases that sold out pretty much immediately as they were released, the momentum seems to be shifting in a more positive direction, and the Yeezy clay is just as important in this revival. So while the tables have turned, here are 5 reasons why the Yeezy 350 clay is important for Kanye and the Yeezy brand. Number 1, it came at a time when people were getting tired of seeing similar colorways. As I mentioned earlier, people were getting sick of seeing the same earth tone colorways on Yeezys, particularly 350s. It felt like there wasn't much color to choose from other than black, white, or 50 shades of sand influenced colorways, and although the clay may seem like an earth tone at first glance or from the name, it's actually more vibrant and resembles more of a peach or rose gold colorway. Number 2, it uses the new transparent stripe plus crazy asymmetrical pattern. This new design is very refreshing and has gotten positive reactions from pretty much everybody, me included. Not that there was anything wrong with the old design, but the asymmetrical chaotic pattern on these is more down my alley. I just love how it goes in all those different directions, creating a lot of interest on the shoe, plus I can't be mad at that translucent stripe. Number 3, it is a vibrant color that can be dressed up or down. This is important because with previous Yeezys like the Beluga or Sesame, you really could only dress them down with earth tone streetwear or basic essentials with the cream colorway or the zebra colorway. I mean, don't get me wrong, you could style them however you wanted really, but the clays give off a more luxe vibe because of their rose gold-ish vibrant color. And I can definitely see people dressing these up as well with more high-end fits versus just the usual streetwear or basic essentials. Number 4, it isn't another boring earth tone. This kind of touches on point number 1, but it's important that this has its own reason because it has to be pointed out that people who love Yeezys, us, we don't just want earth tones, we want vibrant tones too. Though the junior chickens weren't as popular, they were essentially a step in the right direction, especially if that direction leads us to these. Number 5. It gave us, the consumer, an idea of what the Yeezy silhouette may actually be capable of. This is important because now we know that every Yeezy 350 V2 isn't just going to be another earth tone or variation of a black or white colorway. As sneakerheads, it gives us hope that they're willing to expand into more risky but ultimately more rewarding territory. And you know how us sneakerheads, we love them wild colorways sometimes, son, or them crazy designs with the cheetah prints. And there you have it, guys. That's my review of the Yeezy 350 V2 Clay. Sorry if it got a little nerdy right there. I really get into it sometimes, but as it stands, I would have to say the Clay 350s are probably my favorite 350s right now. Don't hold me to it. I haven't fully committed to it just yet, but it seems to be going in that direction. What do you guys think about the Yeezy 350 V2 Clay? Is it the right move for Kanye and Adidas, or was it a bad idea? Did you cop? Leave it all in the comments. Catch you later. Picsoleated is about to mold something.